Good morning. I'm going to do the best I can. Again, this week I still have this cough and cold. I apologize if this is a difficult listen for you. But I do want to stay in touch with you as best I can since this is an online class and things can get lost in the mix. So I wanted to start by opening up week 6 learning objectives and to-dos. Remember that the learning objectives are things that we go from understanding and knowing to application and doing. And a lot of your application and doing will take place in these analysis of play assignments where you're observing and then applying what you're learning in the class to what you're seeing. So I want to encourage you, even though each of those assignments has a specific observation focus, you could also include anything else from the class that you notice while you're there. That would be more than welcome. And I would encourage you, as you continue observing, to broaden your, camera lens a little bit and look for other things that you might have noticed and connected in terms of what you're reading and learning in the class. Because the format of the class really is for you to go through and understand specific theories of play, how they affect specific kids, and then go out and look at those and see them. At the very end of the class, you'll do one play activity, a simple little play activity that you'll learn to document, how you document play. And that will be kind of the final application of knowledge objective. So this week we're really looking at the role of emotion and empathy, different forms of stress, different forms of trauma. Toxic stress because of COVID is something we all need to be looking at with kids. And play is a remedy for all of that. And I'm not talking about play therapy, which many of you may be aware of. I'm talking about play as therapy. Play is therapeutic, whether you're in need of care or not. It's good for you. So that's what I really hope you'll take away, is how good play is for human beings and how essential it is. So much so that the United Nations has a Children's Right to Play article. And I have a link to that in the content this week that you can look at. So for your to-do list, you're basically, continuing on this path of reading, viewing, and journaling. That is your practice. And I really hope as an early childhood teacher, you will adopt that practice, because all of us in the field need to be reading and learning and documenting in some kind of reflective practice what's new. Just in the period of time I've been teaching for over 40 years, I have seen so much new information during that time that is mind-boggling to me. But I've kept up with it because, well, I teach you, so I need to, right? That's important. But I also did it before I taught in higher ed because I was still in the classroom and I wanted to know what was going on. One of the things that I experienced early on in my career was kids who presented really differently in terms of their response to their environment neurologically. And I started looking into that and met a sensory integrationist here in Louisville who I invited into my classroom to teach me, how do I help these kids? What do I need to know? And she ended up training our whole staff because of that. So your own curiosity can lead to not just helping other children, but also your colleagues. that I'll never forget that. And at that time, we really didn't understand the diagnosis of autism clearly. And look at how much has changed about that diagnosis over the years. So I encourage you to use this practice of read, view, attend things, webinars or in-person trainings, and then reflect. Without the reflection piece, a lot can get lost. So that is what you're doing this week. Again, you have chapters 1 and 2, which are really helpful in terms of understanding emotion and play. And there's a Healing Power Play article about how healing is related to play. And as I said, you'll look at the United Nations article. And then in viewing section, the Harvard Center for the Developing Child has a great website linked to trauma in the brain, and specifically to the toxic stress piece, which we all need to be educated about now. There's an example of something that was always there, by the way, but with the pandemic, it affected everyone, so now we're really paying attention. So it's not new, but the good news is, because it wasn't new, we know what to do about it. And I encourage you to look deeply at that if you're working with young children. And then there's a video also in the United Nations Child's Right to Play. So the other thing you have going on this week is on Monday the 23rd, your analysis of play submission number 1 is complete and due, so you should go ahead and submit that. I gave you 1 extra day from your week 5 assignments that are due on Sundays, because I thought if it was me, I could use an extra day to finish week 5 and take what I had done so far on the assignment and kind of polish it up and submit it. So I hope things are going well for you. I'm wanting to make sure that you understand where you are in the semester. You can see I've given you week 7 off as a fall break. So please use that to enjoy yourself and to relax and forget about this class for a week. It's good to take a mental break. When you come back, you'll start to look at the next analysis of play assignment. So please be sure you're looking at that assignment and planning the observations that will fulfill that assignment. And of course, you have your forest school assignment in there next month as well. So for now, that's what I would like for you to think about. You're halfway through the course, really, almost. So you want to look at your practices and how you're doing in the class and what kinds of things will help you moving forward, and let me know if there's something I can do. And as I say, have an enjoyable fall break.